What's up, ladies, studs, and gentlemen? We are back again with another Dream and Memories Explains. I'm your host, A1 Genesis, and this episode is picking right up again, right after the last episode. If you didn't go see that, go check that out. Genova and his friends unsaved the Salem survivors, and this picks up the very next day. So this episode is very lighthearted. It's actually very Genova and Nehemiah centered. So the episode opens up with Nehemiah studying, and her mother comes in the room and tells her that she has a visitor. And when Nehemiah asks her who it is, her mama jokingly tells her, "You know who it is." So Nehemiah gets up, she leaves. It's quite apparent that the mother also knows that they're dating, because they're not really young per se, young by I guess like their years, but not by ours, because they age slower. But to get back into the story, getting ahead of ourselves, she goes out to her balcony and Genova is waiting for her, and he basically tells her, like, in a nutshell, that he wants to take her on a date. He has this big day planned for her to celebrate their little victory last night with saving the people. Because once they got to New Eden, the survivors got in. They got a place to stay. They're in shelter right now, and they're being looked into to get everything they need to continue life. Now that they were told that their whole village was destroyed, so he want to celebrate that. They tag team that thing. So he takes her to a cliff. Now, this isn't the same cliff that they all hung out on. This is actually one where he has just to himself. Because he can fly, only him and Icon apparently can get there, or people that can fly. And it kind of overlooks everything. It overlooks New Eden, the waterfall, the different villages. And when the sun sets, it sets in front of you over the ocean. So he thought he would be a good place for them to have a dinner, because he has something he wants to ask her. So as they get into the day, they're chilling, they're eating, they're laughing, drinking, thinking about the good old times. And they have a bit of a conversation where you find out that these two have been homies since kids. Everybody that's in this group have been in the same class as far as school goes. They were all raised together as a group in New Eden. And these two grew close over time. Actually, Nehemiah really didn't like him when she first met him, but now she adores him. So he grabs her hand and he tells her, come over with me to the cliff. I got something I want to ask you, and I want to show you the view while I'm asking you. So this part's really cool though, because they have different abilities. He kind of tells her, in a nutshell, it's a lot of things he want to say to her. There's a lot of things he want to explain to her, but he can't really find the words to sum it all up. And it would take days before he can say everything he wanted to say. So instead of doing all that, he wants her to use her ability Kisenomi, the one that will allow her to read his mind. Now, what you find out at this moment is that Nehemiah don't really like doing Kisenomi. Kisenomi allows her to enter a person's mind, and for whatever her reasons is, she keeps to herself, but she really doesn't like using the ability. Especially she has rules with it. She doesn't do it to people unknowingly. She asks permission to do it. She doesn't have to, but she explains it's a lot easier when a person allows you to enter their mind than to just hijack it. So but after a while, he convinces her, you know what, look, I need you to do this. And he tells her to close her eyes, and as she does so, she makes a funny remark and says, "You better not be thinking nothing nasty." But as she reads his mind, she then opens her eyes and see that he's on one knee, and what she read from his mind is that he deeply adores her, and he wants her to be by his side. He doesn't want her to be the hand of the queen. He wants her to be the queen when he becomes king. So he also tells her, at this point, with everything going on, the only thing that he realized, he has a lot of questions about life, but one thing he doesn't question is how he wants to spend it. And he knew he wants to spend it with her. So she tries on the ring. She tells him, this is great. She's happy. She gets it, got proposed to by a prince, a real prince. Prince of New Eden. But while this is going on, the story transition, and what we find out is that New Eden is currently being attacked by some type of beast, and Nikki is currently using her super strength to fight this monster. She's been called in to try to like defend the town because the monster is on the outskirts. Let me rephrase that. The monster is on the outskirts of New Eden and is trying to make its way in. So Nikki has been sent to stop the beast and see what's going on. So during this fight, you find out like, you know, Nikki is really, really strong, but this monster is like not strong as her, but has super strength as well. So Nikki engages in hand-to-hand combat with the monster, and we find out like Nikki is an expert in all forms of hand-to-hand combat. Like this is something she's been taught to do since she was about like 4 years old. So when it comes to throwing hands, she's the best at it. She is the smoke giver when it comes to the fisticuffs. So at this part, after we're giving them about like a 5-hit combo, Nikki does this front flip and starts spinning rapidly. And when she comes out of the front flip, it's with a spinning like downward heel kick where the monster blocks the hit with both his hands, but the momentum and the force behind Nikki's attack, once he blocks it, it sends out a massive shockwave. Like there's a loud kaboom. People thought a bomb went off. When she hit him hard enough that it sent the shockwave out, and it sounded like a tank had been fired. This move also like basically cratered the ground where he's at. So we're getting to see a good display of like how strong Nikki is, and you know what her abilities is and what she brings to the table as far as being one of the members of this group that legend says will one day become heroes of the land. You know, before everything is all destroyed in the final hour. But hey, let's love life while we got it, right? So Nikki is like giving this monster, she's giving him the work, and she can't understand why he's not getting tired. And when she kicks him and does that kick, it catches Genova's attention. So he grabs Namaya and flies up so he can get a better look. And he looks and says, "Oh man, like, you know, Nikki's in. They fighting Nikki. We gotta go over there. You know what I mean? That's smokes right there. We about to come over here and get bored. You know what I mean? About to give him a proper welcome." So as Nikki squares up to fight the monster again, she's questioning exactly what's going on because this monster popped up out of nowhere. Like, and for the most part, no one attacks Louis. Nobody on this island. What we'll find out later on in the story is that the island that New Eden is placed on is what we call Sentinel Island. To them, they don't call it that. They just call it New Eden. But back to the story, getting ahead of ourselves again. Warpath, and that's what these monsters are called, charges up a laser from out his eyes, and this is a shock Nikki. You know, somebody shooting our lasers, nobody could really do that, and even in New Eden. So when he fires the lasers, it's a laser beam and it's coming at light speed, and Nikki knows like she cannot dip that. It came too quick. So like the beam is like it made contact and now dragging what looks to be Nikki back far along the dirt. Like it's like pushing her back. It's making like this little slide mark. And what we see when the smoke clears is that right in the nick of time, Namaya cast a mystic barrier around Nikki before the laser beam hit her. So this effectively, like the beam was just hitting the actual barrier. We just couldn't see the barrier at first because of the smoke. And you know, Nikki looks back. You know, she looks at Warpath or a Warpath telling him like, "Oh, you effed up now." So when Genova lands, he lands in front of Nikki and asks if you're okay. He wants to tag in now. He sees that she's in combat, and if it hurt Nikki, then it's worth his time in his book. So while he's about to take on the monster, Namaya uses a mystic art to heal Nikki, and we find out that with her energy, Namaya can also heal people. But healing takes an extreme amount of energy. Doing actual attacks, you find out that doing attacks with mystic arts takes far less energy than trying to like defend or heal or something like that. Doing things that actually preserve life takes way more energy to destroy it, which is like modern day. It's easy to shoot a gun, but it's hard to make one unless you know how. But you get what I'm saying. So at this point, the prince steps up and we finally get to see the transformation that he took when he was training with Nikki. And it seems as though that when he transformed, the silver flames turn into like an armor, much like his mom. So we find out like his mom is constantly in this transformed state. She probably looks different if she wasn't in it. She probably would look more like them, but she's always sitting in her transformed state, and that's why her appearance is the way it is. And yeah, that's the end of this episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, ask questions, give opinions, give suggestions. We like it all. And remember, do you, because that's the only way to do it. And until next time, peace. We out.